I've been really thinking about something this week. Actually, I don't even know why it's been on my mind so much. I mean, nothing really happened. I haven't spoken to my dad since 2018, so it's not like something triggered it, but I was driving the other day and I started thinking about parents. And then I started thinking about my boys, and then I ended up thinking about myself as a kid, which is usually how my brain works. I'll start in one place and somehow end up somewhere completely different. You know, I look at my boys sometimes and they're 9 now. And every night before they go to bed, I tell them that I love them every single night. Not because I think that they're going to forget, I just don't ever want them to wonder. And I don't think that I realized how important that was until I personally became a parent, because I spent most of my childhood wondering whether my dad loved me, not whether he liked me, whether he loved me. And I think those are two completely different things. When I was little, I absolutely adored him. Like, I absolutely adored him. I loved him so much. I wanted the father daughter relationship that you kind of see in the movies. And I wanted him to be my safe place, my hero, just the person that I ran to if anything went wrong, and even to celebrate anything that went right. And I wanted to be that person for him. I wanted him to think that I was the greatest thing that ever happened to him. And I don't think that I ever stopped wanting that. Even when I got older, I just changed the way I tried to earn it. It's actually funny. Well, actually, it's not that funny. It's kind of sad now that I think about it. But when I was 15, I got my first job. My parents didn't really need the money. I was just working because, I needed to get out of the house. Home was really, really hard. There was always yelling and screaming, and you never knew what version of my dad you were kind of coming home to. Whether he was going to be in a good mood or whether he was going to be in a bad mood, or whether somebody was going to get blamed for something. And you were just constantly waiting. And I think that when you grow up like that, your body never really relaxes. Even now, I'm just ridiculously observant. People always ask me how I'm so good at reading people, why I notice things so quickly, why branding also comes so naturally to me. And I honestly think that it started there, because when your environment isn't safe, you just get really good at reading people before they even start speaking. You constantly are looking for clues. You're constantly trying to figure out, hey, am I okay here? The other thing people don't know about me is that I'm really quick when I think. If you ask me what I think, I usually already know pretty much straight away. I can articulate it, I can explain it, and everybody assumes that's confidence. I don't think that that's what it was. I think it was just survival, because my dad didn't really let me say, I don't know. If he asked me something, I had to give him an answer immediately. So I got really good at thinking on my feet. It's weird because some of my greatest strengths came from some of my worst experiences in life. And I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I'm still trying to figure that out. I used to buy him gifts, like really expensive ones. Every paycheck I'd buy him shirts or something, shoes, whatever I thought that he would like. And I just remember thinking, maybe this time, maybe this is the thing. Maybe he'll finally look at me the way I wanted him to. But he never did. But he'd wear these shirts and people would compliment him, and I'd feel like this tiny bit of hope, like maybe I was getting somewhere. And do you know what was really sad? I think that the only thing that my dad consistently complimented me on was really my cooking. And so I became a really good cook, and I never questioned it. I never stopped to ask myself, like, why am I trying so hard? I just kept doing it. Because when you're a kid, you don't think this relationship is really unhealthy. You think, I need to try harder, I need to be better, because that's what kids do. They just blame themselves. I've been thinking about that a lot because I don't actually think I spent my childhood trying to make my dad proud. I think I spent my childhood just trying to convince him I was worth loving. That thought actually hit me really hard when I came to that realization because I started asking myself how much of my adult life was still doing the exact same thing. Working harder, building businesses, winning awards, trying to become more and more and more impressive. And it wasn't because I loved achievement, it's because somewhere inside of me, there was still that little girl thinking, if I just became enough, someone will finally love me the way that I've always wanted to be loved. I don't think I was chasing success as much as I was really chasing proof, like proof that I mattered and proof that I was worthy and proof that all the words that I heard growing up just weren't true. And the problem with chasing proof is that you never, ever, ever catch it because someone else can't fix a belief that was built inside of you. When I became a mom, though, everything changed. I feel like that's when things really turn themselves around, like not straight away, but slowly. Because I look at Gabriel and Noah and I genuinely can't imagine them having to earn my love ever. They don't have to perform for it or, they don't have to achieve for it. They don't have to cook me dinner. They don't have to buy me presents. They're loved because they're my boys and that's it. And somewhere along the way, I realized that that's exactly what I needed. People ask me sometimes if I hate my dad, and I don't. I haven't in a really, really long time. I mean, I did as a kid, but I don't anymore. I actually think he was just a really wounded man. He lost his identity when we moved to Canada. He carried things I don't think that he ever dealt with or knew how to deal with. And I think that men's mental health is something that we still don't talk about enough. And that doesn't excuse what happened, not even a little bit, but I've learned that understanding someone and excusing them are not the same thing. I always thought about saying goodbye to my dad, and I used to think it was the hardest thing I've ever done. It wasn't. The hardest thing was really accepting that no matter what I achieved, I was never going to receive the love that I was chasing since I was little. And that was really, really, really hard for me to swallow because once you accept that, then you stop trying to earn something that was never actually yours to earn. Anyways, I don't know why I've been thinking about this all week. Maybe it's because I'm getting older. Maybe because my boys are getting older. Maybe it's because I'm finally becoming the kind of parent that I needed. I don't know. But I do know this. If you are listening to this and if you feel like you're constantly trying to prove yourself, whether it's to your parents or your boss or your partner or even yourself, maybe ask yourself one question. Who are you still trying to convince? Because sometimes the business that you're building or the money that you're chasing or the success that you actually want isn't the thing that you're actually after. Sometimes you're just trying to earn something that should have been given to you for free. Anyways, that's enough nonsense for today. I'll see you next time. Bye.